for making it happen. Thank you.
We should never stop talking about what we saw because your eyes do not deceive you.
Already the contortions to explain what we have seen are happening. We watched Elon Musk throw up twice what was a Nazi symbol. Twice. And you had the ADL come out and say no, that they come out and defended it and poo-pooed and said it wasn't so. I tell you what, I will say this. It's interesting that a couple of months ago, if you said something, the very organization or one of the organizations, if you said something, anything positive, you could say Palestinians deserve the right to exist, and you were yelled down as an anti-Semite. But a man demonstrated a move twice that was clearly a Nazi. I tell you what, if Elon Musk did that in Germany, he'd have went to jail. If he did it in Austria, he'd have went to jail. If you do that at your job, you lose. And the only place you can make a Nazi salute and keep your job is the White House.
Comedian D.L. Hughley shares his take on the matter.
Donald Trump has returned for his second term as U.S. president, and he invited some of the world's most powerful billionaire oligarchs to his inauguration in Washington. Sitting right next to Trump's cabinet picks at the center of his inauguration were the three richest people on earth: Elon Musk, the CEO of Tesla, Jeff Bezos, the founder and executive chairman of Amazon, and Mark Zuckerberg, the CEO of Meta, which is the parent company of Facebook and Instagram. Together, these three men have nearly $900 billion of wealth. They could be seen on video chatting alongside Sundar Pichai, who's the billionaire CEO of Google and its parent company Alphabet.
And yet what we saw at Donald Trump's inauguration was very clear through his actions. Who gets the front row seats? The oligarchs, of course. It's clear where the lines are drawn. Policymakers are the stooges who simply serve one purpose: carry out the policy these men concoct and get a small donation in your favor.
Those wealthy men, those wealthy white men, they bought in. You can't say they sold out, they bought in. They're going to get a direct benefit from their association with Trump. And they don't need anybody else. I don't know that Snoop or Nelly or Rick Ross or Soulja Boy can say that same thing. And stop telling me, well, they can do what they want. If MAGA can get upset, MAGA got so upset about people that it thought betrayed them, they wanted to kill them on 4 years ago. They stormed the Capitol to kill them. Hang Mike Pence. Hang Mike Pence. You remember that? I mean, that probably won't go in history books now, but that was a real thing. MAGA got upset with...
Hughley wisely states that the oligarchs bought in because they did. They do not care about anyone or anything but themselves, and their actions show it. Money was created around 3000 BC. These dudes just want to reap the benefits instead of tackling what could go down as the vein of our existence.
They pay me a bad. Obama ain't never put no money in my pockets, nigga. Kamala ain't never put no money in my pockets. Trump put money in my pockets. Motherfuckers are trying to say something about me performing at the crypto ball party. Did Kamala call my fucking phone? Did Obama call my motherfucking phone? Did any of you call my motherfucking phone? Oh, God. You mean I do what the Trump call my phone? It wasn't even a Trump event. Trump wasn't even there. Y'all so worried about he performed, him, Snoop Dogg, Rick Ross. Kamala, you ain't even win. Obama, you ain't called my fucking phone. I'll suck my nigga. Y'all want me to not answer the phone of the president? Get the president of the mother United States. Trump wasn't even there. It wasn't even a Trump event. It was the crypto ball for crypto. Y'all can my counsel me all day. Y'all on my nigga, I don't give a when nobody talking about I want to do and I'll go again. Talking about
I will surprisingly give credit here. At least Soulja Boy was honest about it. Truly, Nelly wasn't. Snoop's been silent. Rick Ross lied and said he wasn't performing when he did. At least Soulja Boy was blunt about his intentions.
I do think it's interesting that there were more black people genuflecting and rapping in front of him and performing for him than he will ever put in front of their cabinet. He'll never put them in the cabinet. And you ever notice you never hear them yell DEI when a black person is rapping, singing, dancing, jumping, or running, because that's our province. They only say DEI when you encroach where white men should go. They only say DEI when you do something they think only they have the right to do. So it's never DEI when you're doing what you're supposed to do. When you're DJing and being Snoop and DJing a party, they ain't gonna get mad. That's what you're supposed to do. Try to lead, then it's DEI. Try to be a doctor or an airplane pilot, or try to be a president, or try to be a senator. Hear the calls of DEI. But not when you DJ and rap and dance and run. That's what they expect you to do.
That's a mic drop if I've ever seen one. But there's more.
It's not just going to be that. I mean, when Americans see deportations or repatriations happen, they're going to be like, thank you. When they see the border closed, they're going to say, this is what I voted for. When they see peace starting to break out again around the world, they're going to be like, this is the stability that we were asking for. Daddy's back. And that's what you're going to see.
This is Florida Congressman Byron Donalds. He is a shill for MAGA and Trumpism because it launched his career. Matter of fact, propelled it. Many had no clue who this guy was until he licked Trump's boots. For a grown man to say this, though, beyond pathetic.
There were more black people who performed from him and genuflected in front of him yesterday than will ever be in his cabinet in any significant position. Even all the black people who calling him daddy now didn't get a cabinet. They didn't even get the secretary position of secretaries.
Exactly. All the back scratching, all that stumping, and dudes like Donalds got nothing in the cabinet.
There has to be a point at which dad comes home. Yeah, that's right. Dad comes home. And he's not vengeful. He loves his children. Disobedient as they may be, he loves them. Because they're his children, they live in his house. But he's very disappointed in their behavior. And he's gonna have to let them know. He's gonna have to get to your room right now and think about what you did. And when dad gets home, you know what he says? You've been a bad girl. You've been a bad little girl and you're getting a vigorous spanking right now. And no, it's not gonna hurt me more than it hurts you. No, it's not. I'm not gonna lie. This is gonna hurt you a lot more than it hurts me. And you earned this. You're getting a vigorous spanking because you've been a bad girl.
He's talking about Trump taking the White House again. Just to be clear, since I know MAGA does not read, there are leaked documents from the Dominion lawsuit showing how much this man hates Trump. A lot of them do, but they see him as an accelerant to leading a rich life. To the MAGA folks, if y'all are out there, you're getting played. They do not care about you. They whisper sweet nothings for your support. It's time to leave this party and unite the working class. By the way, on the distractions of Snoop, Rick Ross, Soulja Boy, and Nelly.
So let's be clear. We are a tribal nation. They want people who they find a kinship with to be loyal, and they get to decide what the parameters of that loyalty is. You can't bite the hand that feeds you and then get mad that they're angry. You can't say, I'm going to do something that the people who supported me for a long time don't like and then have a residency in Vegas. You can't do that and have an album. You can't do that and have a party or concert. I tell you what, here's the way I'll leave it. If MAGA can get mad at the people they thought were disloyal, surely have the right to get mad at the people they think are disloyal.
As Hulk Hogan's career clearly goes downhill, there are plenty who have felt some type of way for a long minute. And with that, we turn to Mick Foley. First, here's what Hogan said of Mankind and his work ethic.
I would probably say I've trained more in the last week than Mick Foley's trained in 30 years. You know, I went ahead while Mick Foley was sleeping and eating cheeseburgers and M&Ms. I was in the gym working out. I work out 2 hours a day. I've been doing it for 30 years. It depends on where you want to be. The early bird ain't no worm. I mean, when these guys are sleeping, I'm training. When these guys are driving at night sometimes and partying, whatever, I'll go back home and I'll train. It all depends on how much respect you have for yourself. Now, nothing against Mick Foley. I didn't have to prostitute my body and throw myself, you know, over the coals into the fire and the glass to make $1. I decided to train and go another way.
Pretty low, don't you think? But for Hogan, it's par for the course. Here was Foley's response.
I think he's never wrestled with me. I think if you ask guys like The Rock and guys like Stone Cold, if I was in shape when I wrestled them, if you ask Shawn Michaels, was I in shape when I put in 27 minutes with him in 1996, I think they'd say I was in deceptively good shape. I'm not trying to excuse myself, because part of the reason I retired earlier than I should have is all the damage that the extra weight may have done to my knees and back, and that cost me. But for Hulk Hogan to say that, I think is a lie, and I think it's kind of cruel. And I think if Hulk Hogan were to have wrestled me in his career, that he would sound more or less like a whiny girl in a porno film saying, not so fast and not so hard, because he didn't like the contact.
Let's pause here. Remember the clip we showed last week where The Undertaker told the story of how Hogan played him? Hey guys, quick break in the action. I have a new show coming out called The Rick Strom Show. It is going to be awesome. I'm interviewing musicians, athletes, producers, writers, journalists, authors, sports doctors. Go check it out at youtube.com/@TheRickStromShow. Also be sure to throw me a follow on Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky. It can all be found in the description box below. Thank you.
He goes, hey, kid, can I talk to you, right? So he's telling me, he goes, hey, I got this neck injury. He says, I'm really nervous about taking your finish. And I was like, Hulk, believe me. I said, I will protect you. I pride myself on not hurting people. And I promise you, I will have you so tight that there's no way possible that you're going to hurt your neck. So, with that, we went on about our business. Every point during the day, I'd pass him in the hall or whatnot, I'd get remember about my neck, right? So that's all I got all day was my neck. So we go into the finish. Flair comes down, slides the chair down. I pick him up, and when I tell you I had the brother secure, he was secure. Boom! I give him the tombstone. As soon as my knees hit, I hear, "Oh, you got me, brother!" Like you have all these. Like I'm, 20? I was 24, 25 years old, and I just crushed Hulk Hogan. Right? That's what's going through my head. Like they gave me this opportunity. They gave me the chance to run with the ball, and I just hurt the golden goose.
And remember how Taker was really a young pup in the sport at this time?
I go backstage, and I was asking, where's Hulk at, right? And he's always laying on Vince's office floor. So I go in there, he's laid out on the floor, he's carrying on, and like I'm going in to check on him, but then here come the paramedics and stuff. So here, me and kayfabe, right? So I go behind a wall with Shane. Me and Shane are behind the wall, and I'm having to, listen to, can you feel this? Can you do that? And then I hear somebody get my wife and kids on the phone. I'm like, are you? So you can only imagine, right? Finally, I got to San Antonio, and I was like, Terry, I watched it back. Your head never hit. He was like, well, brother, what it was you had me so tight that when we came down, I had nowhere to move, and that's what jammed my neck, because I couldn't move at all.
You're too tight. Seatbelt was on too tight. Got it.
It was too tight. And at that point, then I was like, okay. Then I knew, I was like, okay. I kind of realized, okay, I know what you're all about. And that's all I needed.
Thus Foley saying Hogan didn't like contact certainly fits a theme, doesn't it?
So the reason I'm out early and he's around there when he's 49 years old is because I put out. And I gave people their money's worth. He did in a different way. He was a great entertainer. But at the same time, you didn't have to apologize to your friends for watching a Mick Foley match. And sometimes, I know when I was on the Larry King show and they were watching Hulk in action, it was embarrassing for me to be considered to be in that same profession as he was, because his stuff was so obviously weak. So, and I'm taking that out. It's a little aggression that I wouldn't normally say. But yeah, that's pretty brutal stuff for a guy of his magnitude.
I think it's very clear when we look back at Hulk Hogan's career why so many wrestlers left these like receipts for us to take in, it's because clearly they felt some type of way about how he conducted his business. And it's not even just when they're performing and wrestling against each other and doing promos and whatnot. It seems like as well the way that he conducted himself outside of the office per se, or outside of a venue. There are going to be so many more stories that come about, but the fact that I haven't even got to other wrestlers who have gone on the record going after Hulk Hogan, there is a reason why. Jesse the Body Ventura spoke out about how Hulk Hogan ruined unionization amongst their workforce. It's because he probably did many more things that rub people the wrong way. And it doesn't even seem this is controversial to say. From Mick Foley, if I'm going to be very blunt about this as well, like Mick Foley basically giving his 2 cents, but not trying to completely go after Hulk. That was my sense of this. But to also see from many others who have weighed in on the topic shows that man's character. And as Kevin Nash, who even spoke out on this, said, it wasn't about him doing the whole RNC. It's what has gone into his career. In my view, the shtick is over. It has nothing to do with political beliefs because, as I said in a previous video, and as Kaz said in a previous video, if it was about political beliefs, The Undertaker would be booed mercilessly. And he hosted Donald Trump on his show. So which one is it, guys? Because what I feel like the Hulk stands are going for is the low-hanging fruit in this entire equation. When really, they're not seeing the reality. That there are so many who are completely turned off by what this man has done. If you can and are willing, please become a paid member here at TYT Sports. And or go to tyt.com/join. In addition, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate it. Have a great day.
When they're all framed up, you had some of the biggest titans in business.
Yep.
And I would just say the biggest titans in tech, who were the sort of antagonists for many years, who were sitting there front row for the presidential inauguration.
This is certainly the story of the inauguration. The oligarchs running policy in this country to benefit themselves and their companies, but in turn, there is a story inside the story, and it is this.
I mean, obviously, the Nazi salute took everybody's attention away from everything else that happened at the inauguration. It's kind of hard not to focus on that. But I think, honestly, the most interesting event of the inauguration was Mark Zuckerberg looking at Lauren Sanchez's chest. Like, that picture is never going away. Do you understand?
From comedian Sammy Obeid. It seems, though, the talk of the inauguration outside of billionaires running the country was Lauren Sanchez's outfit choice. She wore all white, seated next to her significant other, Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon, who got his start with his parents investing in his company. More from Obeid.
So she was, she was there, right? And she was wearing a low-cut blouse, which is a choice. And Mark Zuckerberg was standing right over, and I don't know, bless the photographer who nailed that shot. Because you think Zuckerberg is a billionaire, he has to be like, okay, when I go in public, people are going to be watching me, you know? But for some reason, his metaverse glitched, and he, like, in a moment, he was looking at her low-cut blouse, and the photographer got it, like, perfect frame rate, nailed it.
Agreed. God bless the photographer or videographer who captured the moment, because boy did they deliver. And now Zuck, a man who screams out masculinity is needed on Joe Rogan, got himself in quite a pickle. Furthermore, Zuck made his peek at Sanchez's chest with his wife right next to him. Keep in mind, as we've stated, this is during the presidential inauguration. After this went down, we would learn that Zuck was liking Sanchez's stuff on his platform Instagram, which Obaid had a reaction to.
And that picture is not, it's simple. It's just, boys will be boys, whatever. That's like the baseline, like, Zuckerberg's got it in him, whatever. Or, toxic masculinity, or however you want to see it. But that picture is more meaningful than that. That picture is the beginning of a divorce, okay? That picture.
He's like, honey, let's go to the metaverse and sort this out.
Doesn't matter how rich you are. Like, that's, anyways. He what? Oh, he liked our pictures on Instagram too? Did you check that? Did you that's the first thing everybody did. They went on Instagram, looked at Lauren Sanchez's profile. They're like, has Zuckerberg liked her photos? He's liked previous photos of hers, or... Oh, we're so creepy right now. We're just like, dude. We're like, oh my God, Zuckerberg has a thing for Lauren Sanchez.
Just so we're clear, here is the photo of Sanchez that Zuckerberg liked on the platform he owns. And here are some of the users who liked it. Most disappointing, Carissa Thompson, by far, as a sports guy. It should surprise no one Sydney Sweeney liked it, considering we know her family history at this point. Jessica Alba, also not surprised in the slightest.
Hey guys, quick break in the action. I have a new show coming out called The Rick Strom Show. It is going to be awesome. I'm interviewing musicians, athletes, producers, writers, journalists, authors, sports doctors. Go check it out at youtube.com/@TheRickStrom Also be sure to throw me a follow on Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky. It can all be found in the description box below. Thank you.
Obaid then turned his attention to this.
And I just want to say thank you for making it happen. Thank you.
The Nazi salute seen and heard around the world from Tesla owner Elon Musk.
Listen, I don't actually think that Elon is a Nazi, okay? But everybody just saying like, oh, he's on the spectrum or whatever. But yeah, he's also on the Nazi spectrum. You know what I mean? Like, there is such thing as a Nazi spectrum. You start at 0 and then you're just full Hitler, and he's somewhere in between. We don't know. You cannot mathematically argue that he's not somewhere. We know he's not 0. If he was 0, he would have not made that motion. Okay?
Obaid would also debunk the Roman salute argument we have heard from so many Elon defenders. Plus,
the ADL wrote, this is a delicate moment. That's the Anti-Defamation League. It's a group that monitors anti-Semitic hate. This is a new day, and yet so many are on edge. Our politics are inflamed, and social media only adds to the anxiety. It seems that Elon Musk made an awkward gesture in a moment of enthusiasm, not a Nazi salute. But again, we appreciate that people are on edge. In this moment, all sides should give one another a bit of grace, perhaps even the benefit of the doubt, and take a breath. This is a new beginning. Let's hope for healing and work toward unity in the months and years ahead.
What little credibility this organization had left was gone when they issued this diabolical statement in reaction to Musk.
And it was surprisingly how many people were defending him, like the ADL. I don't know if you know Anti-Defamation League. They should just change their name to Defamation League, because that's basically all they do. They should call themselves the DL. But the ADL totally, they usually go after anti-Semitism all the time, but they're like, don't get out of hand here. He was just excited, like they totally gave him the pass because he's not a peaceful college protester. So, yeah. And, but yeah, also some really good people defended him, like Netanyahu. That's someone who you really want to have on your side. Netanyahu was like, no, I know Elon.
For more from Sammy Obaid, go to SammyKO.com for tour updates, his YouTube channel for long-form stuff, his Facebook for more Lauren Sanchez love at Facebook.com/SammyKObaid, Instagram for thirst traps, and of course, TikTok.